Welcome to Dirt, Sweat, and Gears and the Parkway of Powerless Preludes. We are here with my 1989 Honda Prelude SI four-wheel steering. This is the car that I have owned since 2001. It has over 300,000 miles on it. And since 2007, the air conditioning has been broken. Now, if you saw the video on my other Prelude, I got to spend some quality time with a master in AC rebuilding, and I learned a whole lot. And in fact, we got my other Prelude's air conditioning blowing in the low 40s, and the AC performs spectacularly. I want to do that same thing to this car. In this video, we're not going to get too deep into the weeds of how to nut and bolt content. We've already done that in my last video. Go watch it if you want to learn how to step by step to retrofit, convert a system from R12 to 134A. In this video, we're going to be focused more on the diagnostics because I kind of know what's wrong with this car. And at some point last year, I had dug in deep to do diagnostics on this car, and I recorded a lot of really useful content. So in this video, we're going to go back in time. Apparently, I was wearing the exact same t-shirt I'm wearing today, so you may not even notice. But we're going to go back in time, and I'm going to show you some of that useful content. And then we're going to cut back here and begin to do the conversion and diagnostics. I have the system open. It has been properly, correctly evacuated, but that's not true. It actually had a slow leak. Last year, I discovered that there was enough refrigerant in the system in order to turn on the compressor, but this year, that's just not the case. So something's gone bad. One of the seals has gone bad. And after we do a deep dive into the electrical, we're going to take a look at that. So I had taken this thing down to the shop to recharge the AC somewhere around like 2008, 2009. I had taken the whole system apart and replaced all of the seals. I took it down to the shop. He said it held vacuum. He tried to charge it. However, something didn't work. The compressor didn't kick on. The first thing I want to do is we're going to start the car up, and I'm going to take you through what I know about this system. All right, well, we know the compressor is not bad. We know it will turn on if it gets the signal. So let's turn on the car and see what happens. All right, so I have the fan on. The AC is not on right now, and we're going to go ahead and press this button. So we're getting a green light. If I fiddle with the switch, the light will kind of flash. But we are getting a green light and not a red light, which means, according to the car, everything is working correctly. Now, in this AC system, everything runs to a control box, which is inside the passenger foot compartment behind this panel here. And that box is what tells the computer to turn on. That's what turns on the red light if there's a problem in the system. That's what changes the idle of the car when the compressor does turn on. So there's a whole lot of things that this little box does, but everything runs to the box, and the box is the one that says, oh, there's a problem. We're not going to turn on the AC. So according to that box, everything's fine. So what is between the control box and the compressor? Well, I know for a fact there's a pair of relays. One of those relays, I believe, turns on one of the fans, and the other relay turns on the compressor. So we're going to test those relays next and see if the relays are bad. According to this, the switch side is on this right side, and the 12-volt side is on the left side. So if we run 12-volt to the two right posts on both of these relays, they will click on. Let's see if that happens. So I've got some highly advanced testing equipment here, as you can see. So I don't know if you can hear it, but when I run power to it, it does click. This one also clicks. So the relays are good. Word of warning for all you teenagers out there: never store deodorant in your glove box. It smells like a 17-year-old in 2002 every time I open my glove box. I have been hard at work trying to diagnose this thing, and the first thing I wanted to do was to get back in here because there was a little bit of a fire here in 2008 when I was welding the wheel wells back together. We caught the climate control box on fire. Not the control box, but the actual fan motor. So I took the control box off. I even opened it up. I'm not going to open it up again for you, but it looks beautiful in there. It looks perfect. It looks like it just got a little bit charred on this top edge here, but the box itself, the board looks perfect. There's no flaws in the tracings on the board. There's no reason to believe that this is bad. So then it occurred to me that I have the factory service manual. So I decided to print out the diagnostic instructions on here and just follow this step by step. The tests that they typically want you to run here are either continuity or battery load. So let's go take a look at what our battery load should be. So I know my battery isn't fully charged, so I want to know what to expect when I do a battery load test. So we're going to connect to anything that's connected to the battery. I'm going to go ahead and put it on 1.5 volt battery load test. I am not an electrician. I'm not an electrical engineer. I barely have any idea what I'm doing. So clearly I have very little idea what I'm doing if my igniter is just going to kind of hang there. So we're going to go ahead and find some acceptable ground and some point where there's power. And we're going to touch this thing, and this car's got like low 11s, high 10s of battery available. So that's kind of the voltage we're looking for when we do a battery voltage test. So let's go back into the car. The other test is going to be continuity, which is literally just that. And you want to see that number go down, as low as possible for good continuity. First thing we want to do is we want to just kind of follow these instructions. Compressor does not come on and the warning light does not come on. Does the compressor click? No. It doesn't do that when the car is off. It doesn't do that when the car is running. So next we want to disconnect 13P, which is, you see that control box over there? It wants us to disconnect that. And we're going to check for continuity between yellow-black terminal and the body ground. I did that and I got 10.5 volts, which means that is getting power from the battery, no problemo. So now we gotta go to the front of the car. We have to go to the relay for the compressor clutch relay. So what do we want to do with this 4P connector? The compressor clutch relay A. So that's this one. So that means we want to plug this back in. Measure voltage between yellow, black, and the body ground. And now we have successfully disconnected 4P connector from clutch relay A, and there is battery voltage. So now, turn the ignition switch off and connect the 4P connector relay A and check for continuity from red, yellow terminal of control unit 13P. All right, we're back at the control unit. Pull this out. Now we need to check for continuity from red, yellow, and the body. And we're going to turn the car back on. We want to see numbers go down. Right now it says 1, and then I'm going to connect it. And that goes down to 0.110. Yeah, there's continuity. So next it says check for continuity from yellow terminal of the 13P control unit connector to body ground. Boom, we got yellow. Yeah, that's stabbed. And now we've got continuity, and maybe I can see it this time. Now we're back down to 109. Yeah, 0.109. So do we have continuity there? Yes, that's a yes. Now check for continuity between the gray terminals on the relay connectors. So we got to go back to the front of the car. We're going to check from gray to gray. And bottom right. And sure enough, we have continuity. Now it says measure resistance between the red terminal and body ground. Now it wants me to measure the resistance from red terminal on one of these connectors, which I believe is the one that goes out. It's this one right here. We want between 2.5 and 3.5 ohms. Getting 4.1, 4.2. So we might be getting too much resistance in this connection. So this might be our lead here. So I have confirmed that I was actually getting over 4 ohms of resistance, which means I've got a problem with the thermal protector, which is actually on the compressor itself. I could bypass it, but that's probably a really bad idea. I want to do this right. This is my favorite car, and I don't want to screw it up. Well, as you can see, this car is partially taken apart, but we are not working on it. I really wanted to have a video from diagnostic to a complete running air conditioning on this Prelude for you guys, but a couple of things came up that were pretty big. First big thing was an accelerated timeline on construction. You see, now that we have stucco on the building, we've actually started to insulate and drywall upstairs. We're also going to insulate and drywall the ceiling downstairs, and that is per building code. You have to separate the garage from the living space above it. I did have this car completely disassembled. The compressor and the condenser are still down at the shop. They're being worked on. I had to put this car back together in order to get this thing able to move. So I can move the car. Obviously I can't drive it like this, but I can move it, and now I can make way for the insulator. There's another big thing that happened though. This could be a little bit hard to talk about. I lost my uncle. He passed away over the weekend. Over the past couple of years, I had been helping my uncle a lot. Helping him, visiting him, spending time with him, and I'm really glad I did that because I got to know an amazing person. And not only is he an amazing person, but relevant to this channel, he is an incredible fabricator, legendary restoration mechanic, and he's gone too soon. We'll just say that he's gone too soon. So I had to put this project on hold. I had to put my life on hold, and that's going to continue to go on for at least a few weeks. So one of the reasons why I'm releasing this video now is to buy me a little bit more time. Does that mean I'm going to have a video for you next week? I don't know. It depends on how this goes. But we will be announcing some pretty big changes to my garage space, to my fleet. And that's all going to be something that I share with you guys. Not only because I think you guys are really going to enjoy these projects, not only because I'm really going to enjoy these projects, but it's also going to be a great opportunity to tell the story of my uncle Doug Mertz and what an incredible fabricator he was, what an incredible restoration mechanic he was, and what a great person he was. And hopefully, with the projects that we're going to be taking on, we're going to be able to honor his legacy and make him really proud. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.